Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, general agents, you are listening to another episode of the Browns World Podcast here on this Sunday, July 17th, 2022. We are here today with a man that I have not talked to since the Super Bowl. He came on for the first time ever on the Browns World Podcast. Then we're bringing him on for the second time here in the summer to talk literally all things sports because there's not a lot going on right now in the sports world. Ladies and gentlemen, my good buddy, Jalen Sandvick.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Stuff is going down in the NBA, stuff is going down in football, but other than that, it's kind of a dry spell for sports as far as games but there's a lot of legal drama going down in the NFL, and ah.
Yeah, Jalen, let's get right to it. Now, we did not talk really on the air about the Watson Baker Mayfield situation because, of course, before the Super Bowl, nobody knew that Deshaun Watson was going to basically tell the Browns, yeah, I want to come play for you. And then the Browns give him a fully guaranteed $230 million contract. Now, obviously, with Baker Mayfield in Carolina, your thoughts on kind of the whole situation developed here over the past few months now with Baker in Carolina and Deshaun Watson now the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns.
See, it's I look at it as a football perspective, right? Strictly football. I don't look at it as, oh, he's a piece of garbage. He did all this to women. That may be true, but from a football perspective, like Deshaun Watson has to be top 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 five, maybe.
No,
Would you go as far to say top five?
no, I don't think top five. I don't even know if he's top five in the AFC. He's certainly top 10 quarterback, but I don't even know when you look at Mahomes, Josh Allen, um, Lamar Jackson certainly up there, Joe Burrow. Like those are guys that I think I would take over Watson. Probably put Watson maybe five or some Wilson six. Um, you, just off the top of my head. So maybe I have probably Justin Herbert a little bit ahead of Watson in my opinion. So maybe put Watson six. But yeah, I mean, I've been saying it for months and months and months ever since the news broke on this podcast. I completely agree with you. You can say whatever you want about Deshaun Watson off the field. I'm not saying he did anything wrong. I'm not saying he's completely guilty. I'm not saying he's completely innocent. We kind of have to wait for the facts and hear what the NFL has to say on that. Regardless, on the field, he is an upgrade over Baker Mayfield. And I understand Cleveland fans love Baker. They love what he did in his rookie year and his third year. Obviously, he was the first quarterback for the Browns to win a playoff game in over 2 decades. But last year was just a bad year for Baker Mayfield. You can equate it to the injured shoulder all you want. But the fact of the matter is, when he was out there last year, he played like a bottom five quarterback. And this Browns roster is a top 10 roster in the National Football League. They're ready to compete for a championship right now. And whenever Watson gets on the field,
With what we're looking at now, I've seen reports everywhere that state 4 to 6 games.
yeah, I've seen that too. And, I've been a little bit back and forth on the whole thing. I thought at first he was going to get a full year. Then I thought he was going to get zero. Then I was back to a full year. Then I was at eight. Then I was at six. Then I was at four. Then I was at zero. So, I just think that, we really don't know yet as to what that is going to be. And the one thing I will say, though, is if it is only 4 games, Jacoby Brissett is not a bad backup quarterback. I think if you can even get through the first half of the season, 4-4, 5-3 with Brissett, you can set yourself nice up here to go on a playoff run here late in the season.
I agree. And everyone's freaked out. Oh, we had Baker Mayfield. Now we have Jacoby Brissett under center. If Deshaun has to sit for a full year, this is gonna suck. We're gonna be awful. But I think he played against the Raiders. Was that the game he played?
Uh,
The
so Jacoby, I don't remember the game he played last year for the Dolphins. I do know obviously he started 2 straight seasons for the Colts. He was a backup to Tua last year in Miami. He's a competent quarterback. He's not gonna, he's not gonna get you to the playoffs. You'll probably go 6-11 or 7-10 or 8-9, somewhere in that range with Jacoby. But I think the thing that people are looking at is like this Browns team, like I said, is ready to compete for a championship. Jacoby Brissett is not a championship level quarterback. He is a bridge-like starter that you can get by with about 6 games for Deshaun Watson. And the Browns obviously have never planned to play Baker Mayfield. I thought that was a idiotic statement by people. I think the Browns might be able to keep Baker and see what happens. I never thought that was a possibility. I was surprised that Baker got traded now. I thought they would wait till training camp to see if an injury occurs. The fact of the matter is, though, Baker's off the team now, and now we can move forward with whoever the starting quarterback is for the Browns week 1.
And if it is, what people are saying is we got Carolina week 1, so if Baker's starting, I can't wait to slap him.
Boy, I can't imagine from a Carolina perspective. I know there's a lot of rumors and thoughts out there about Sam Darnold already has the job. Like, I can't imagine you go into a training camp with Baker Mayfield versus Sam Darnold and somehow Sam Darnold wins the job. Like,
no, because I will say this. Baker is not bad, but he's not great. But Sam Darnold runs away from ghosts. Like, this dude, he sees paranormal activity on the field. So if Baker doesn't have that job, that would honestly, can I swear on the air?
Yeah, go ahead.
That would piss me off. That would, because Baker has so much potential, and maybe his playing style didn't work really in Cleveland. And maybe he'll shine in Carolina, Nevertheless, like, Sam Darnold is awful, whether Baker plays well or not.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, you never know, but I don't think Carolina is any good. They rely too much on Christian McCaffrey. DJ Moore is a nice piece. He's not a great piece. I don't think Matt Rule is a great coach. I think he may be fired at the end of this season. And
yeah.
For Baker, he's on a 1-year contract. For Baker's sake, I hope that he does, potentially play well. Maybe he gets out of Carolina. That team's going to need a starting quarterback in 2023. Maybe he lands there. But speaking of the rest of the NFL, Jalen, I got to ask you here. We're a little bit less than 2 months away from the start of the 2022 NFL season. I think it's one of the most anticipated NFL seasons in a long time. There's a lot of storylines, a lot of guys switch teams, a lot of wide receivers, just Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, Tom Brady without Bruce Arians coming back to potentially win another Super Bowl. You got A.J. Brown moving to the Philadelphia Eagles. You got a lot of good teams like Buffalo, who just improved their roster mightily. Matt Ryan moves his way from Atlanta to Indianapolis. DeAndre Hopkins suspended 6 games. That may cost Arizona a few games early on in the season in that pivotal NFC West. You got everything going on in San Francisco with Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance, just to name a few storylines. Who would be your surprise team that you think people are sleeping on that's going to have a better record than maybe most people indicate? And then who is that team that you're not that high of that you think maybe most of the media is high on?
All right, ready for this?
Go ahead.
You're gonna flame my ass for this one. Chicago. I think Chicago is a shot in the dark. With all the losses they have had, okay? Justin Fields, they just got rid of Matt Nagy, which was the greatest decision they could have made, right? So you get rid of that garbage, okay? You have a young Justin Fields. The sky's the limit. At this point, the sky is the limit for young Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears. This is, I don't think they will make the playoffs necessarily, but I think I've seen a lot of memes. Oh, Bears 0-17. Oh, and this. Oh, no. At least 6-11. Probably 6-11. I don't see them being as bad as I've seen people portray them to be, just because, and it's not like they were horrible horrible last year either. But they just had a horrible coach. And getting rid of that horrible coach can elevate them to win more games. And that's why I think they're going to be decent.
Okay, who is that team that maybe people are a little bit more high on than you are?
That's tough. That's really, really tough. I don't know, man. I want to say Cincinnati, but I know that's not the case. But, like, for the sake of time, I'm going to say Cincinnati. I think Joe Burrow is great. I think Jamar Chase is great. But who knows? Maybe that playoff run was luck. Although I would hate to see it because I'm a big Joe Shiesty fan. So, even though he is in our division. But I'm going to go with the Bengals, even though I hope that's not the case. I hope they make the playoffs. Like I hope they live up to the potential.
Okay, so let me address both teams then. Chicago, I sort of agree with you. I don't think they're going to win about 6 games. They'll probably win about 3 or 4. I don't think they're going to be 0-17 in that territory bad, but I don't think they're going to be great either. They lost really their only true wide receiver that they had in Allen Robinson. And I know Matt Nagy was a disaster in Chicago. I still personally think Matt Nagy can coach. I think Matt Nagy was really pressured by ownership. I don't think Justin Fields is this type of quarterback. I'm not as high on Fields as most people, and I'm not as high on Matt Eberflus as a defensive-minded coach in today's offensive NFL as most people. I think the Vikings are going to be a little bit better in that division. Not much, even though they lost Devontae Adams. I still think Green Bay is the cream of the crop in that division, and I actually think that your former favorite team, the Detroit Lions, under Dan Campbell.
Hey, hold on, back that up. Not my former favorite team. They're still my second team. We're just a dumpster fire right now, okay?
Hey, you know what? You're not a dumpster fire. I believe that Dan Campbell, after he loses week 1 to my Philadelphia Eagles, will have a pretty good year, and I think the Lions will finish 3rd place. I do have the Bears in 4th place in that division. As of right now, that could change obviously before the season starts when I really dive into the schedule. On Cincinnati, I think you do make a great point. I have made the point all off season. I think the team that people are really sleeping on in the AFC North is Baltimore. Baltimore was 8-3 last year before their whole team got wrecked. I realized they lost 6 straight games to end last year. People don't remember though, in like week 11 or week 12 last year, they had the number 1 seed, and then, like I said, fell apart just due to injuries. Lamar Jackson is a special quarterback. I thought Baltimore had one of, if not the best draft this year in football. They added a lot of talent on the defense side of the ball. Yes, they traded away Hollywood Brown to Arizona, but I think they're just going to embrace the run game a little bit more. I think Lamar Jackson's going to have a great year. I think Baltimore, Cincinnati, and Cleveland will all compete for playoff spots in the AFC. That's for assuming Watson is back for most of the season for the Browns and the Steelers. Listen, I don't know what they're doing at quarterback. I understand they got rid of Ben Roethlisberger. I understand they have a great defense, but to me, that they are 4th in that division. So for the most part, I do agree with you.
I like to point this out on air, by the way. The last playoff game played in Heinz was the night that we blew out the Steelers. So they can stomp on us for years to come, but the last playoff victory was by our Cleveland Browns inside Heinz Field. So all you Steelers fans, sucks to suck, don't it? No. Yeah, who knows?